grab your link, flange to the inside, and the other one to the outside. I'm going to make this one, line them up, make sure they're lined up good. So that'll go in there. Get your bolt shoved through, grab another lock nut. Put that on. Grab our needle nose. Snug that one up. Make sure I can spin it. Yep. Okay. There's your front axle assembly with links and shocks on it. I'll clear this out of the way and we'll do the back one. Okay, we'll grab the rear assembly, do the same thing. Basically, you want reservoir facing back and flange towards the outside. You can spin these around, it's no big deal. And we gotta get the nuts. Okay, take a nut, get that ready. Take your link, flange to the inside, the other side flange has got to go out. Put that in. Put your nut on. Take my needle nose. Okay, done. Take a shock, flange out, reservoir facing the back. That one started there. Link, flange goes to the outside. Oops. And I gotta give this one a little crank here. Okay. Flange goes to the inside, out on the axle end, outside on the belly pan end. Skid plate, belly pan, whatever you want to call it. You can put the nut on this one. Grab a hold of her. And snug that one up. And there. Okay, we got two axle assemblies. Both have the shocks mounted, both have upper and lower links mounted with the ball ends on them. So they are basically ready, and drive shafts, shouldn't forget to include those. Those are basically ready to be installed on the chassis and hooked up. So, next step is going to be 19 and 20. We'll start building the transmission and getting that done. These will get set aside for now. We'll come back to them later. So we'll just put these up here. And I'm going to get together all the parts we need for the transmission, and we will come back and start on that. Okay, Parts Bag C had the majority of the internal parts for the transmission. All you really else that you really need for this is the housing itself. That's actually on parts tree 80009. There's going to be both halves of it. You can basically pop those off. You're going to need both of those. And there's also a plastic plug with the Axial logo on it. That's part number 4 for down there. And we're going to set what's left of that aside for now. First thing we need to do is actually put together a couple of sections here. There's a small shaft. It's part number 30190. Grab that. This is a pretty simple step. Take that, the black plastic gear, which is part number 80010. Take 2 bearings, one on each side of that plastic gear. And it's kind of tough, but press those in on each side of that. Put that shaft in through that, okay? You can then take one half of the gear or the transmission case. Doesn't matter, these are both actually the same on each side. So you can start with either one, it doesn't matter. Take the one half, you're going to drop in this gear assembly into this hole in the middle of it. That sits right there. It does say to apply gear or grease to the gear. I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to wait till I get all the gears in here, and then what I'll do is I'll feed grease through the whole system as I spin it around. So that one's done. You can go on to the next one, and I'll locate the shaft for that in just a second. Okay, you're going to want to locate next the long shaft. This is the one with the holes in it and the pin. You're also going to need that and the metal gear. Now, take first take and put the pin in first. It's a little deceiving in the instructions. It's kind of laid out a little backwards, but put the pin in there first. It goes in kind of snug. You might have to use pliers or a fingernail to push it in. Then drop the gear down onto the pin. I'm sorry, I did that backwards. Gear's got to slide on from the other end onto the pin from that direction. Okay, so basically you've got that. Then take your small bearing, that goes on the end. Press that on there. Should have just a little bit left sticking out. The other bearing goes on from the other end, like so. Oops, make sure your gear stays on that pin. Get that bearing all the way down on there. That then slides into that position, like so. You'll notice there's a little bit of a wobble there. Don't worry about it. We'll get to that later. There's actually a shim that goes in from the back side or the outer side here. Takes that slop up. So that's where you're at there. You've got those 2 gears in the tranny. Now we need to build the center section, which consists of the 2 outdrive shafts. Place the one in, line up the 3 holes with the holes, any of the holes in the gear itself. Take your other end, this is the end with the threads, your screws screw into this, and line those up, okay? Alright, we're just going to set that there for now. You're going to need your thread lock at this point. Take your 3 tiny little 2mm screws, load them up, thread lock. Grab your assembly, make sure your holes line up correctly, and screw those together. There's one. Grab another screw.